All right, folks, here we are back at it again. The first flea market of 2019. Excited to get back into the swing of things. You know, it's a little cool out today. You can see the parking lot is not as filled as it typically would be. As it starts warming up, it'll get crazier. All the sheds are not open back there. For those of you who watched my haul videos last year, you're very familiar with this location. It's the Central New York Regional Market in Syracuse, New York. But I want to just start getting my feet wet again over here, and this is a great time to do it. And so I'm going to turn the video around just a second. So one of my goals this year is to try to hit the flea market earlier, so I could maybe get in on some better deals that I could have missed out last year. Normally last year on Sundays, I would wind up getting here around 9:30. So right now it's around 8:45, and hopefully some other weeks as it kicks up, I'll get here even earlier. So that's one of my goals, starting that out right now. This is the only thing I am going to today for sourcing, because obviously over the last 2 days I've acquired a lot of stuff. I need to get some of that stuff up and start posting it. So we'll just see what we could get with this little flea market run here. Folks, one of the things I learned a long time ago is to always make sure you are looking for vintage circus items, or really any circus items. They sell really well. I used to sell them back in 2000 when I was selling things I used to purchase from the swap shop in Florida. This hat is a perfect example. It's probably just going to be like $1 or so, but this one recently sold on eBay for $50. The cheapest you could find it right now on eBay is for $80, and it has 2 watchers. So this one is going to go right in the box. It's funny because the guy who's selling these turns out is one of my comic book suppliers. Now I looked through these other hats and none of these other ones are worth anything, and you could tell why. These are just very plain Jane, you know, just with a patch stuck on it. But if you look at this one over here, you can see this one has the animal. It's much more flashy, many more words, so that's the kind of thing you're looking for these circus hats. Tote of comic books here, but I'm gonna pass on them because they are pretty much, there's some damage on them, and they're almost all Star Trek. I know Esme loves Star Trek, but I have tons of this stuff and I don't need to pick up any more of it. This is a really cool piece. I really like this. It is a cast iron devil candlestick holder. Really cool. The problem with it though is the price at $14. I'm sure I could negotiate them down to $10, but they sell for around $27 or so. It's just not worth it for me, but pretty cool. Now if you can find 2 of them, that's a different story. Those would go for like $60 or more if you had 2, but he doesn't. So you can tell it's still cold out because all my favorite stands are closed, including the Yum Yum Shack. Love the Yum Yum Shack. Where am I gonna get my Mountain Dew now? This is cool as hell. Oh my God, that's awesome. Love it. I don't know what's going on with the reptiles, snakes, and devils today, but this is another cool piece. Only reason I'm gonna pass on it is that it does have just too many dings in it that's, you know, buyers are gonna just focus on and pass on it, but I think it's a really cool piece. If you ever see this, this is the 12 Tribes of Israel. This plate doesn't sell, but I just wanted you to know what this is if you ever come across it. 12 Tribes of Israel. Let me show you something else. Another mistake a lot of people make is they'll find a piece like this, they'll get real excited in terms of what it looks like and the price, and they'll miss something pretty obvious, like right here, which is this big crack. It's been glued together. And then you have something worthless. So just beware of that. Look for cracks when you're picking up these types of items. Okay, now this is something else to look for. It's a helmet from the Bell Telephone Company. These can sell for up to $50, but the thing is, people want them white. They don't want them faded like this. It's too faded for me to pick this one up. All right, so let me fill you in on what just went down. So I'm at a table outside at the flea market here, and I'm looking at this book, Notre Dame de Paris. Now, this is a 1930s twin set first edition. One of these sets just sold on eBay for $200. currently listed for several $100s on eBay right now, and there are signed versions of this that people are asking like $600–700 for. So I initially asked him how much he wanted for this. He said 20 bucks, and then I started to look over and saw these. This one actually just wound up getting thrown into it, but it's these flying review magazines. These are international air flying magazines from the 1960s, looks like, for the most part, early 1960s. And a lot like this, I mean, there's like 11 of them in here, should go for around 30 bucks. Now, he initially wanted $63 for both of these. And yeah, you could say, oh, you probably get your money back with just this, but you got to keep your costs low. So as I'm thinking about what to counter offer him on this and this, I look to my side and I see that there's a guy going through old Mad magazines, and he's taking them and he's going through all of them, and I quickly realized that these are all 1980s magazines. So I run over there and I ask him if he's getting all the magazines, and he's like, and he had a checklist. He's like, no, I'm thankfully, he's like, I'm just looking for certain ones. So I said, okay. So all these, I figured all these that he was putting back into here were the ones that he was going to take, but he said, no, these are the ones I'm not going to take. He only wanted specific issues, so he already had a lot of these for his collection. So the guy was a collector. He was not a reseller. So it turns out there's about 50 of these in here, plus there's an old Mad magazine game, and there's some cards, and there's even a hardcover book down below. So initially, the guy I asked him how much he wanted for everything, and initially he was at $120. Then he wound up agreeing to knock it down to 100, and then I hemmed and hawed a little bit with him and got it down to a total of $80 for everything. The whole bunch of Mad magazine cards. I mean, those are from the 90s, so those aren't worth too much. The game, there's, I don't know what the heck this random thing is, but like a, I don't know. We've got a hardcover book down here as well. I'll show you that. So we've got that. Again, this should hopefully just pay for everything. And then we've got, I'd say about $30 worth of the air magazines. So, you know, just showing you how you try to lot these deals together and try to keep whittling down the price. So, you know, you could decrease your investment costs. And then, oh, this is cool. Look at this. Garbage pail kit issue. This is classic. Sorry for the noise in the background. There is a big train going by. I'll show you that. Then I'm going to head back over and see if I get anything else. All right, folks, well, I just made another big deal. This is an entire box of 50 trade paperbacks and hardcover, new condition books. And some of these are sealed. I mean, I know some of these, I've had some of these in the past. There's some of these here that will go for 40 bucks a piece. I'll tell you about the negotiation later and how it all kind of went down, and there's kind of a lot of components to it and stuff, but ultimately I got all of this for $125. So I should be able to get that back in about 3 or 4 sales for some of these. I mean, as you can see here, some of these are sealed. I mean, this is Superman, Muhammad Ali, sealed, just crazy. This came out of a storage unit, was just discovered yesterday by the guy, and he was just selling it right here. So wound up, again, making a great deal. And this one's sealed as well. We'll go back to Primetime Treasure headquarters and we will process this a little bit more, and I'll talk you through this more a little bit. I mean, even got this big DC encyclopedia here. All right, folks, we are back at Primetime Treasure headquarters, and Daisy is exhausted again. It's about 8 o'clock. She just said she doesn't want any part in doing any kind of quality control or accounting or inventory or anything like that. She just wants to chill out on this couch. So we are gonna head over. Bye, Daisy. We're gonna head over to the collection, go check that out. Bye, Daisy. All right, everyone, so here is everything laid out. You could see to the back left there, I've got the circus hat, and then there's the Mad magazines. There's a whole big stack of them. I mean, they're great ones there. In addition, there's a Don Martin calendar that I did not know was there. Don Martin is a famous artist. If you see books with Don Martin on it, like little paperbacks, pick them up. They are very collectible. So that is definitely a name, Don Martin, you want to know. And this is a 1988 calendar. I have not looked it up, but let's hope, I haven't even looked at it yet. Let's hope that, oh, perfect. So there is nothing in it in terms of any writing. I mean, that looks like it's in like mint condition. So that's awesome. So that's great. That was an unexpected collectible in there. There's a hardcover book I was talking about. The real value though is in these Mad magazines right here. These are from the 1980s and 1970s, and there's just some great covers on here. I mean, you know, you've got the Garbage Pail Kids, you've got Bruce Springsteen, you just got so many different things here, and people just love to get nice collections of these from all different decades mixed up, 80s, 70s together, you know, and they flip for good money as long as you got them in a nice big lot like this. Oh, whoa, sticker album? I have never seen this before. The Mad Magazine sticker album. Now it does have it has some of the stickers in it. Now generally with sticker albums, if they have stickers in it, that decreases the value. People like them blank, and this one does have some stains inside of it. So I don't know if we could do anything with this or not, but it's interesting to see. I've never seen the Mad Magazine sticker album. Sometimes you'll come across baseball sticker albums from like Topps or Panini, like some old ones like that. And those generally only sell if you have, this one has a loose cover, only if you have the stickers to go with it. I mean, they could sell without the stickers, but usually pretty low. So this one here, actually, we even have some ones back to the 60s. So that's nice. That one looks like a flipper right there. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but it looks like it. Then we've got one from the 90s, but I'm telling you, the vast majority of these, that might even be the only 90s one. Oh, look at this. We've got Hulk Hogan here. Perfect. So you want the ones with, especially with these iconic characters on it, and you want to feature those, like these Back to the Future ones. When you take the pictures of them, it really, really helps them sell. Look at that. We got Michael Jackson. We got the Statue of Liberty. We've got Rambo and Ronald Reagan. I mean, this is just awesome. I love this. Animal Party, 1984 special. And let's see what else here. We got Miami Vice. Then sometimes you have these generic covers like, you know, about evolution, but, you know, we got Ghostbusters. Look at this. We got Superman on here, and you can see why. I've had this issue so many times. I read that one when I was a kid. You know, you could see why it has such appeal to so many different people, because it has all these different, you know, covers, and a lot of people, you know, collect things from specific decades, you know, certain TV shows, certain characters, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, perfect example. Let's see, you know, and they also get into politics too. So, you know, you saw the Ronald Reagan one there. Earlier. Then there's these thicker ones. They're called super specials. So those sell well. Also, I just lot them together though with all the other Mad magazines. This is just a random Bugs Bunny magazine that got thrown in there. Here's another Superman one. So let's see. Oh, we got Aliens. Look at this. Another super special. You know, it's just a ton of this stuff. There's another 80s one. It's Max Headroom. There's we got a Star Wars one there with Yoda, Top Gun. Hope you guys are enjoying seeing these different covers and looking through them if you used to read these when you were younger. That's why I'm going through all these for you for some nostalgia, but also if you're new, just to, you know, see the types of things. Maybe you didn't grow up with Mad magazines, you know, not familiar with them. You know, this is the kind of thing you're looking for. 80s and below. So you saw there was only one in there from 1990s. That's what you want. You want to stay away from the 90s. These are all the different books that I got. I mean, some of these things are sealed. The reason I went the 125 on it with him, two main reasons. Well, actually three reasons. One, I know the money is in there for it. Like for example, this one here, the Joker, a Devil's Advocate, this one is a first print. This one should go for around $35. I've sold this one before, Starman Omnibus, and this one is sealed. This one should be around a $40 book right here. So I know I should be able to make my money back. This again, this is a sealed one here too. I mean, I haven't checked the comps for it yet, but if you look at what the suggested manufacturer's price on it, it was 50 bucks. So it's sealed. These things are often out of print, can't get them. And sometimes the value even goes above what's on the price on the back. I'll just flip through some of these if you just want to see what some of the different titles are that I got. Most of them are DC superhero ones, which is good. Those tend to sell very well. There's also some more random kind of independent ones that I'll have to look up. This is a great title you want to look for, Infinite Crisis. Those sell very well also. Now don't get me wrong, there's going to be some trade paperbacks in here that will only sell for around 10 bucks, but still, it's still going to be a good return on investment overall at the end. That's what you're doing when you buy these big lots. I've talked about this before, is that you are, taking the good with the bad. Like for example, this one here, even though it's a hardcover, I know that this one should sell for like only, believe it or not, only sells for like 12 bucks or so. But, this is one that you could ship out medium mail, even though it has comics in it. It's still considered a book. It's a hardcover book. So this should still be under a pound, $2.75. So the shipping's not expensive on it. We've got Aquaman here, more and more popular because of the movie, which was terrific. I highly recommend it. I love this one right here. This Superman, Muhammad Ali. This is a name to look for in comics. You ever see Neil Adams? Always pick that up every time. We're getting a glare on there because this is a wrapped one. We've got Justice League here. George Perez, you saw me talk about him earlier with an art piece that I sold by George Perez. This one also is sealed up. So if you could find these things sealed, that's another thing that made me go for it, is that there are so many of these things that were sealed. Another reason that I went for these, as I'm showing you the title, is that last year, it was the beginning of the year, I came across somebody who was selling a big lot of trade paperbacks like this. And I didn't pull the trigger on the deal because it wasn't a lot of money. I mean, I think he wanted like, 80 bucks for what he had. And I normally wasn't spending that much at garage sales. So I didn't pull the trigger on it. And then I walked away. I regretted it. I contacted him the next day and he said he wasn't selling them anymore. So at that point, I made a commitment to myself that, if I come across a good deal, even if it's, something where, spend a little bit more money than usual, I was just going to go for it because, I really just don't want to regret it. Those ones you can't sometimes get back. And so I knew this was a good deal and, I have a lot of experience selling these books. So wanted to make sure that I picked it up. The other reason is because as I was talking to this person wound up getting these through a storage unit. He buys storage units, and he is about to purchase a storage unit with what he believes to be 89 long boxes of comic books in them. And so we got to talking. I told him what I do, that I'm a dealer and a reseller, and he said, no, I know talk is cheap, but he said that he was going to contact me if he buys that unit to sell some of the merchandise from that. He said that this storage unit that he's going to get, he heard from the storage unit owners that the people who had that particular unit have been in there maybe twice in the last 25 years. So that tells you that those comic books in there should be of a decent age. So that's exciting. I don't know if anything will come of it. You have to assume probably not, but you never know, and it's important. I want to show this guy, like they say in American Pickers, you want to show people that you are willing to spend the cash. That helps you make the deal. So those are reasons I went forward with all this for $125. Okay, so one of the things I want to tell you about the negotiation with these books here is that when I asked him how much he wanted per book, what he said was it depended on the book, and that he wanted me to basically go to the back of the book and look at what the suggested price was, what the retail price was on the back of it, and then he would cut that by half. So if the book said it was $20, he'd sell it to me for $10. But I know in my head that I really want to be at around $2 per book or less. No, I eventually went a little bit over that for the reasons that I described, but that's approximately where I wanted to be. And then as he was selling other things at the sale, he was saying how he's tired of getting lowballed by people, that someone had offered him $2 on one of these books earlier in the day, and he told the person to take a hike. And I had to make sure I got across to this person that I was a dealer and that I can't pay him retail prices if he wants to unload it. The other thing that I made sure I got out of him was where he got these books. I had a feeling that they were from a storage unit purchase, and it turns out that that's where they were from. And why is that important? Because that means he is not emotionally invested in them. They are not part of his personal collection. He then told me he just found them last night. He didn't even know he had them. Perfect psychological news for me to know, because that tells me I'm more likely to be able to make a deal with him. He just found them, didn't know he had them. They're from a storage unit. Perfect. So when he asked me what my offer was on him, he refused to tell me the number first. Of course, that does happen sometimes. I stuck to my guns and threw out the $100, which was $2. I counted, we had 50 of them. He countered back at $150. Now, he didn't immediately even respond, which was good, because I thought on how he was talking earlier that he was just gonna say, nope, forget it, I'm not doing it. You know, I want $500 for him or $400, and then that would have just been it. There would have been no deal at all. And he just, he just paused for a moment and said, well, I'll be at about $150 for him. And I said, well, why don't we just meet in the middle at $125? And there you go. That's how I use the meet in the middle technique, not just with, when I'm a seller and I'm negotiating with buyers, but I use it as a buyer when I'm negotiating with sellers. And he said, fine, I'll do the $125, and there you go. So I got all the books for $125. All right, I have one last thing to show you from the table. Now, this is from yesterday's video, the estate sale haul. If you didn't see that one, go check it out. You'll see where I sourced this. But question I actually had for you, for those who are watching this, do you know what game this comes from? I have not taken the time to research it yet. I'm just curious if anyone watching it happens to know. They're made out of wood. Most of them are square shaped or rectangular shaped like this, but there are a few of them that have like an oval shape to them like this. So, and they're three-sided. So I'm not sure off the top of my head. So just curious if any of you know. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that video. If so, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Come by to the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link is down below. And make sure you follow me on Instagram. That's @prime_time_treasure. I'll see everyone at the next video, everyone. Take care.